of how well they can get groups of people together. Of course, it's much easier to get people together to loot than to actually take a stand for something.
Yeah.
Well, according to Obama, this has been a slow rolling crisis, so they've had plenty of time and opportunity to prepare.
Uh-huh.
Well, that would fit the community organizer credo, wouldn't it?
Yes, this has been going on for a long time, John.
Yeah. I would imagine somewhere around the 70s when it all came to a head.
Well, let's not forget 64 and then 68. And then
well,
70.
I look at the civil rights movement in 64 from up until the signing of the Civil Rights Act as a legitimate movement. I can see nothing wrong with what Martin Luther King and those people wanted. Now, we had the other side of it. You had the Malcolm X's that wanted to burn everything to the ground. But King won out on that. And through the protesting and dialogue and everything else, he convinced a president who really didn't want anything to do with this to do it. And so I look at that and I say, I have a lot of admiration for somebody that used the system the way it was designed, and over the course of several years it took, but they finally got what they wanted. I give them that. Where it warped was when you had people deciding that, hey, we can use this for anything, and now we see it today in the light of the idea that everything is a civil right. Anything you want to do is a civil right. The Weather Underground comes into play. The Black Panthers come into play. From that, we get the idea of social injustice and income equality and gender preferencing and all this other stuff that we now face today. So, once again, you leave enough depraved bastards around long enough to think, and they'll figure out how to take a good thing and make it bad. And that's really what we're looking at today, I believe. So, okay.
And it's hurting them. I mean, this is what makes me crazy. If anybody thought that this is the way to advance the cause for African Americans or inner city or any disenfranchised, that by looting a CVS and burning cars and throwing bricks at police and setting a senior citizen center on fire is a way for us to go, oh my gosh, you guys, you're so right, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly the opposite. Exactly the opposite.
Yeah. And I guess
right?
that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right.
Well, I guess that's what they mean by ignorance is bliss. It's got me. We got to take a break here. We got to take a break, do a commercial. When we come back, we'll continue. I've got Karen Siegemund from Rage Against the Media and Joe Hakos from Dryer Report. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here on the Conservative Syndicate. You can catch all our show archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
800-280-3454. 800-280-3454. 800-280-3454.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted financial expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known and syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, every Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time, firsthand, from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Bob airs live every Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on blogtalkradio.com/Robert Cardoso Live, or you can choose any one of his archive shows at blogtalkradio.com/Robert Cardoso Live. That's blogtalkradio.com/Robert Cardoso Live. For complete and honest commentary on politics, finances, and culture, check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. Okay, hey, we're back. Right here on the Conservative Syndicate, and we want to thank you for taking the time to join in the dialogue tonight. And we're just kind of loosey-goosing it, I guess, tonight. I don't really have I'm going to say, a decisive objective I want to achieve tonight in our discussions, but more like, hey, let's just take a look at what's going on, and let's see what, where is it going to go? More of a speculative tonight. And I've got Karen Siegemund from Rage Against the Media with us, and Joe Hakos from Dryer Report. Karen, back to you. I wanted to...
Hey, John. Hey, John. Sorry, Karen. Hey, remember we're talking about what might be going on, and Barack Obama had a 14-minute answer to a question about Baltimore today, and I'm sure probably both of you have heard it, but I wonder if you caught this one little line that he said in there.
Go for it.
He said, I can't federalize every police force in the country and force them to retrain, but what I can do is start working with them. I think right there he's kind of letting this little cat out of the bag, so to spek.
Yep.
Well,
here's phase 2 of Holder's plan, right?
Yeah.
Holder, after the Ferguson thing, they had this big investigation, and now who is it who just said, it was Elijah Cummings, who said we need another investigation into, how that it's all racially oriented, which of course is complete nonsense because all the police involved were black, near as I can, right? I mean, race had nothing to do with it. We don't know we don't know what actually was the issue with this kid. I'm hearing rumors that he had neck surgery sometime before. I don't know how true that is, but the point being we don't know. So yeah, this is what the left does. Never let a crisis go to waste, and this will be phase 2 of Eric Holder's plan to bring local police forces under a national umbrella somehow. And I think this is part of why they had a delay, and why they had these zones. The worse it gets, the more they can justify it.
I agree with that, and my take on this is that we have seen since the Trayvon Martin issue come up, we have seen, rather than all the attempts by government, local officials, violent summits, all the things that the government has been trying to do to neutralize and de-escalate and build trust in the communities and all the other crap that we've been hearing, and what we see is each event gets more violent than the next. And
right, by design.
Design. Exactly. Thank you, because that's exactly what I've been thinking here. The more I see this is something that is being done by design for the purpose of when Barack Obama says, I can't do this, damn well that's exactly what he wants to do. We heard this on immigration.
Immigration, exactly. I can't. I have to. The people want me to. The Republicans are getting in the way. I will.
Yeah, and I can't justify legalizing homosexuality because Christians in the country. But here we are. Anything this guy says, as soon as you hear that, I can guarantee you within the next few weeks we're going to hear of some strategy. He's sending Loretta Lynch down there, to make the federal presence known. Joe just informed me. I was wondering where Mr. Sharpton was at. He's on his way down there. So here we are. We're at another situation where I believe, and the counter to this is that local officials don't really want to respond because they're afraid of what they'll do if they do.
Did you hear? Right. Well, did you hear? I don't remember her name. She was a CNN reporter who said
Yes.
What happens is these veterans come back. They don't know the community, and I don't think she used these exact words, but something like, and they're itching for a fight.
Yeah, you're talking about Brooke Baldwin over at CNN. And
yes.
She said was, I love our nation's veterans, but some of them are coming back from war. They don't know the communities, and they are ready to do battle.
Ready to do battle.
Yeah, blame everything.
Oh,
yes.
Blame the veterans. That's a great catch, Joe, though, that quote from Obama. I think that out of all the gibberish, that's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
14 minutes of gibberish, yes.
Now
right?
That's telling.
Let me throw this at you guys and get your take on it, because I know when I say some of this stuff, I know even when I hear myself saying it, I think, John, you've gone off the deep end. And I started talking about this, I think, last year, about the idea that as we got closer to the 2016 election cycle, that the Obama administration would try to do something to instigate or bring such chaos to the country that he would, initialize martial law. And we started hearing all these stories about, we were talking earlier, Joe and I, about Jade Helm 15. We've got these military buildups all over the country going on right now. The closing of Walmarts, automatically people start saying, oh yeah, these are going to be the detention centers when the military rises up and everything else. We've had Don Huber on here, who's tied in with the militias, and he's talking about how the militias are building their arms up. 10 million militia in this country right now that are armed. Talking about all these different military buildups, about the fact that we have 650 or 350,000 UN troops dispersed amongst military bases throughout the United States under the guise of quote-unquote training. And you start to put all this stuff together, and I'm thinking, I don't find it out of the stretch of imagination that Obama is not going to leave the White House voluntarily or quietly. There's just something in me that tells me this guy is going to try to pull something off. And if there's such a national, something similar to the Civil War, maybe it'd be a race war or something, but something that would, in his own mind at least, justify trying a coup and just taking everything over. Hey, we can't have elections right now. I mean, they were floating that back in 2012. We just need to ban the elections because everything is just too chaotic, that kind of thing. Am I losing it, or do you see any reality in that? Karen, let's go with you first.
I hope you're losing it. I mean, I don't hope you're losing it. But, it seems completely insane, and yet these things do happen. They happened in Germany. It didn't take much. It took much less. Hitler didn't have much. There was a Reichstag fire, and he declared, communists were the enemy, outlawed that party, outlawed this, outlawed that, and just seized control through various legislation that was crazy, and before you know it, you've lost your democracy. It's happened. I'm sure they thought, how bad can it be? He's just doing the thing that he has to do to keep us safe and all of this. Things that are insane actually happen, and I can't imagine that this will happen, and yet.
I know, it doesn't it just kind of take your breath away when you even entertain the idea that something like this could actually be in the works? I mean, it completely does. I can think about it when I see Obama on TV, and I just get so pissed looking at the guy that I say, yeah, you know what, the commie's going to try to screw the country, worse than he already has. But then the logic kicks in after a while, and you start going, hey, John, are you losing it, man? Are you becoming as fanatically irrational as a lot of the people you talk to?
Well, I guess the question would be, why would he do this?
I'm sorry?
Because I guess the question would be, why would he do this? Because to me, the goal his goal, the left's goal, but his goal